Look, ladies and gentlemen, it's an honour and a privilege on behalf of my fellow board members to welcome you all here today to the inaugural conference on Rialála Agri-Via, the Agri-Food Regulator. This is our first major public event since our establishment in 2023, when we were established with the task of promoting and ensuring a fairer food supply chain, and in doing so to have particular interest for the needs of farming, fishers and small businesses. I would like to acknowledge the presence here today of Minister of State Dooley, members of the Oireachtas, the presidents and members of the main farming organisations, ambassadors and members of the Diplomatic Corps, our colleagues from the Department of Agriculture, Food and the Marine, and representatives of other state agencies. To our speakers and panellists, a sincere thanks to you all for agreeing to participate in this conference. Special word of welcome also to the Masters in Food Business Strategy students from UCD Smurfit School of Business and their faculty staff who facilitated their attendance here today. I hope that ye in particular find this very interesting and that someday a number of ye will be part of the over 100 organisations that are represented here today, that you'll be part of their staff. I'm especially delighted to see so many attendees representing all parts of the agri-food supply chain. You all have a very clear understanding of the challenges that the food supply chain faces on a daily basis. To me, your presence here is a powerful sign that the work of this organisation really matters, and that together we are all committed to delivering a fairer food supply chain. We're all here because we all share a deep interest in the future of the agri-food supply chain and in building one that is fair, transparent and sustainable. The foundations of the Agri-Food Regulator is rooted in a very simple yet powerful principle, that of fairness. Fairness in how the value of food is shared along the supply chain and in particular to the more vulnerable actors. This conference is our opportunity to engage, to listen and to set a course for real progress. One of the core contributions we're making here today is the release of the regulator's first survey of agri-food suppliers, focusing on their experiences of trading with 8 of the largest retail and wholesale buyers in the country. And I thank those retailers and wholesalers for their cooperation. Later this morning, we'll be hearing the survey findings, and I look forward to the panel discussion with supplier representatives alongside our CEO, Niamh Lenihan. And I want to sincerely thank every business and supplier who took part in the survey. Your voices form the backbone of our work, and your feedback will shape a fairer system for all. The publishing and analysis of information about price and market data is a further significant function of the regulator. The movement towards greater transparency in the agri-food supply chain is not only happening here in Ireland, it's happening right across Europe, and I note that the UK Grocery Code Adjudicator, Mark White, is also speaking here today. And we are also honoured at this conference to be joined remotely from Brussels by Patricia Riley, who advises President Ursula von der Leyen on agricultural matters. Patricia will share the EU Commission's Vision for Agriculture and Food, a strategic roadmap that puts primary producers at the heart of agri-food policy for the next 5 years. This was launched in February of this year by the current Commissioner for Agriculture, Christoph Hansen. And speaking of commissioners, I do want to acknowledge the role and the work of Phil Hogan, when as Commissioner for Agriculture he set up the Agri-Markets Task Force, which set all of this in motion. The new EU Commission's vision is a vision that speaks our language, a vision that recognises the value of producers, champions price transparency, and insists on fairer trade for farmers and fishers. And we in the Agri-Food Regulator are ready as an organisation to play our part in delivering that vision here in Ireland. We will work constructively with all links of the chain to monitor, investigate, and where necessary, enforce. And this is something we've done in the past few months. I'm no Winston Churchill, but this inaugural conference is in some ways the end of the beginning for the regulator. We have laid great foundations since establishment, and now using the insights provided by this survey, we can continue to focus our work and engagements. We wish to support compliance and unfair trading law, but also to work on buyer guidelines to help understand other issues that suppliers may be experiencing. The board yesterday evening in this very room had a very welcome and positive meeting with the Minister for Agriculture, Minister Martin Hayden, and we'll hear from him shortly. It was a very constructive meeting. We spoke at length about a number of issues, but obviously we talked about the additional powers, extra staff, and increased funding. And as a board, we were extremely satisfied with the Minister's commitment and intentions to ensure that the Agri-Food Regulator can do the work and carry out the duties that we were set up to do. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank my colleagues on the board of the Agri-Food Regulator for their support, their dedication, and the time that they give to it. I also want to thank our CEO, Niamh Lenihan, and her excellent team for their work ethic, their integrity, their professionalism, and their drive. I am extremely grateful to our panelists, our speakers, and especially Minister of State Healy-Rae, our partners in government and industry, and everyone who helped today make today possible. Most of all, I want to thank you, our attendees, for being here at the very start of something new. This conference is our opportunity to engage, to listen, and to set a course for real progress. I'm very much looking forward to the interactions throughout the day. Ladies and gentlemen, in the eyes of the Agri-Food Regulator, transparency is not an option. Fairness is not a luxury. For a proper functioning food supply chain, they are necessities. Thank you very much.